AskReddit by Anna Faberto. How would you feel about school taking up an extra hour every day to teach basic adult stuff like washing clothes, basic cooking, paying taxes? My rural ass school did this in the zeros: home ec, sewing, taxes, cooking, woodworking, etc. Could even get into metalworking, accounting, quilting, pottery, etc. if you wanted to. My school did the same. I was a good student, but at that age you just don't realize the valuable information they're giving you. You kept the information long enough to pass the tests, and then you went and got alcohol poisoning in a field while your parents thought you were at a movie with Nicole and Becky. Deleted. People love to parrot this idea. I promise you that for 90% of students it won't be any different from any other class. They just won't care. I'd be opposed to the extra hour, but not the activities. School was already an 8-hour-a-day thing. Pushing it up to 9 hours means it actually becomes longer than a full-time job. And that's before you get to homework and shit like that. If anything, the school day should be shorter. Or keep it 8 hours in the building, but leave 2 or 3 of those for students to work on homework with a teacher around when they need help, guidance, or just for them to socialize in a somewhat structured way. Expecting teens to maintain any level of engagement and discipline for 8 hours straight is psychotic. It's a system built by nerds and sadists. They do it already. It's called life skills here. Edit. 8 hours. It's only 6 here and we get it done. WTF, you wasting 3 hours on every day? More classes. From what I remember, when I was in school, in the USA, during like my 2nd or 3rd year, they added another class to the schedule, so we were learning from 7 different classes then. Don't remember much of it now, not even what classes they all were, lol. My public school had classes that teach these things. I graduated high school a decade ago. I took home economics and learned how to cook. I took financial literacy to learn about taxes and budgeting and investing. Is Utah just way ahead of the other states, or is this a made-up issue? I've seen people that took these classes at my school post memes about not learning how to pay taxes and shit. I wonder if the real problem is that nobody remembers this stuff cause they teach it to you when it isn't relevant to your life. I graduated from a Utah high school in 2019. Financial literacy was very much a requirement. Although, I thought the subject matter taught was very broad. I think the majority of people who claim that schools never taught them these skills never paid attention in class. Your grandparents had home economics classes for the girls and shop, trades, classes for the boys. Every once in a while a member of the opposite sex would sign up for and take the wrong class. Too much humor. They don't teach home ec or have shop classes anymore. Deleted. That's just home ec. My home ec's class was baking cookies and eating them in the next class. I can't remember anything else. Washing clothes? So you put the clothes in, some detergent, push a button, then dryer, then a hanger? If you can't figure out washing clothes or cooking on your own, definitely shouldn't be allowed to drive. Taxes, debt and personal finance is something that should be taught. A kid at my college brought a box full of pre-measured Ziplocs of laundry detergent that had printed directions in every bag. Like, I want to believe washing clothes is easy, but then I'd see him in the laundry room reading the directions every time. It's so funny how many of you think that kids will actually be interested in learning about taxes, stocks, etc. In what world do you think high schoolers would be attentive in a class about budgeting taxes? Have any of you met high school kids before? I remember we were taught about taxes and personal finances in school when I was like 15 or something. Retained none of it, and when I became an adult I taught myself from scratch through Google. This used to be called home ec and most schools had it. Then boomers did away with it because it cost too much. Now they make fun of young people for not knowing things they would have learned in home ec. Deleted. I am opposed to it. There's no reason parents can't teach these things to their kids while doing said tasks. School isn't responsible for every single thing. Also, with the internet, if a parent doesn't know, changing a tire, for example, they can easily learn. Yup, school can't teach literally everything. Most of what you need to learn outside of school can be done with skills you get in school. Laundry and basic cooking isn't that hard as long as you have the skills to complete high school. I think it should be optional because not everyone has a parental figure that will teach these things though. Deleted. Those are the things that a competent parent should teach their child. Agreed. And not all of us have competent parents. Nope. Parents have to take some responsibility for having kids, too. Also, cooking has largely been dropped from curriculums mainly because of the danger in it. Kid drops chicken on the dirty floor and picks it up quickly. Kid knocks boiling water off the stove. Schools would be sued quite quickly. Tax, yeah. But wouldn't it be better to teach kids about how governments use their tax? I think it's ridiculous that washing clothes and basic cooking would be considered adult stuff. These are all things I learned at home and was doing for myself by high school. Are people's parents really just doing all this for them? Hard to believe, but some parents wouldn't teach their kids. I know I had trouble learning domestic tasks from my mother because when I would try to help out around the house, whatever I did it wasn't done right. I know there are many who share my experience. These are things that can be learned independently by simply doing them. Taxes are damned near idiot proof in most cases because they are designed to be. Washing clothes, follow the instruction manual. Cooking, watch YouTube, follow a recipe. What these all have in common is that you need a solid grasp on numeracy and literacy. These are things that must be explicitly taught. These are the core skills that underpin almost everything. People who complain about not being taught how to do their taxes tend to have shitty numeracy skills. People who struggle to fill out a form tend to have shitty literacy. Can't read instructions? Literacy issue. You can make education as practical as possible, but the fact is, many don't want to learn until it's too late. I say this as a teacher. We really do a lot to make education as relevant to real world needs as possible, but there is not getting around. Here's the deal about the whole paying taxes thing. It changes every single year. By design, taxes are hard. They don't need to be. But they are. Teach critical thinking and reading comprehension instead. Deleted. Japanese schools do this to a degree. The students are responsible for cleaning the classroom and serving lunch to their classmates. I think it would be a great idea if well explained and supported by the community. Otherwise, the school risks parents going bananas. Think Karens and who knows what. I would say the parents should be doing that. Why even have the kid if you want the teachers to raise them? Yeah, you'd be better off just adding a class called How to Be a Fucking Parent and teach your kids basic ass shit 101. I would disagree. This is stuff that should be taught during school, not adding on to it. They need to take things out before adding anything. I learned this in home ec. Home ec really doesn't exist anymore in a lot of places. You mean things parents should be teaching their children without relying on parents to teach them? Here, you teach them this shit cause I don't want to. Here, you teach them this shit because I don't have the time to. Here, you teach them this shit because I don't know how to teach. How about we teach people how to be parents without involving religion or politics? How about we teach people how not to be parents if they don't want to? How about we make a strong middle class so that parents have time and energy to teach their children the things that they need to know and can still do things like pay rent and feed themselves? And X200B. Man, life is hard. I'm pretty frustrated by the amount of people that don't understand that school isn't supposed to spoon feed you every piece of information you'll need as an adult, but instead is supposed to teach you to learn. think critically and logically, and be resourceful, among many other things to help you help yourself. If anything, it's just the over-focus on testing that causes this kind of learning to take the back burner to instead teach how to take some dumb tests that don't even assess these abilities. A post 1 hour every day for 4 years, 8, or 12, is just way too damn fucking high. How about it as a mandatory elective and you take 2 of them in HS totaling 1 year? I did woodshop, mechanical design, architecture, art, and economics as electives. Just remove 2 of those and you can add home life understanding or some shit. Also, people mention home ec. I had that and it was stupid as shit. We in the course of 5 months made shit cookies and a gingerbread house. No, really, that is it. Literally October to December was a gingerbread house. I have no clue how, but it is true. Definitely not. The school day is long enough already and it would be very costly to add another hour. Some sort of home economics should be available as an elective class. But there are lots of kids that learn the basic skills from their parents. For kids who have been doing laundry, cooking and so on for years as regular chores, it would be so frustrating and wasteful to sit through a mandatory class on that. I do agree that some basic money management skills should be taught, but that can be done in math class. I remember calculating interest and keeping a pretend budget at homework.